It's a disappointing start for the Tennessee Titans, already a loss in week one. We're going to recap it all here, the good, the bad, and the even worse. About to come at you on Fanboys Unleashed. Oh, hello, everybody. I hope you're all having a good evening. I am Sam Dean, a.k.a. Mr. First Down. I am a fanboy unleashed in the great state of Tennessee. This is Bradley Mangold. He is also a fanboy unleashed. He is unleashing his feelings before we come on air. He probably unleashed a lot of feelings during that game. I certainly did. I think my kids learned some cuss words they shouldn't have learned from me. But, hey, that's the nature of football. We should preface this right out the beginning, Brad. Right out of the step. And I know nobody wants to hear it, but it's the truth. This is one game. This is the very first game. You don't know what trend you're going to set or anything like that. It was not encouraging to see what we saw. Plain and simple. But this is just one game. Your thoughts, sir?
I agree. It's one game. Started off first quarter was up and down. Second quarter, I feel like they got their bearings underneath them, had good drives, scored some touchdowns. Tony Pollard looked good, and then the second quarter was just it was awful. That's it. That's the word. Just awful. And
bad.
I mean, the block punt touchdown just
snowballed.
Gave the Bears the momentum, and then I mean, Will Levis's pick six was just that was it. That was the dagger, and it was insane.
I'll say this about the pick six there. Horrible, yeah. He did it to himself. J.C. Latham had his guy blocked, and he stepped over into it by accident. That they said that. We had talked about his footwork before he was drafted and how they worked with him. They're going to have to work with him some more. The good news is, out of any good news you could take from that, is that he knows what he did was wrong. He called it a bonehead play in the press conference. He was mad at himself or whatever. So at least he's aware. It's not just like, well, these things happen, blah, blah, blah. What we would have gotten under the previous regime. Got to coach better, got to play better. Am I right? Didn't get that. I will tell you from this press conference that there was a lot of accountability. There was a lot of Brian Callahan said I should have called this play and couldn't get any kind of rhythm and everything like that. So, I will take accountability from anybody and honesty. This is a 2 Dr. Pepper kind of night, I think, for your boy here. So it stinks. But, I mean, it's the way you lose, the implosion, how they didn't score a touchdown on offense. I mean, Caleb Williams looked horrible, and they still couldn't pull their trigger. You have way too much talent on this team on offense. Mm-hmm. But the big word around week one for everybody I've seen is sloppy. Everything's sloppy, from miscommunications to illegal procedures to a little bit of everything. It imploded in the second half, but there are things that you could take away from this game. Oh, yeah. And that is exactly why you and I are here, to cry on each other's digital shoulders, to try to find everything here. But first, we got to get down and dirty. We're going to get in the dumps. It's time to talk the negative. Oh, boy. I'll let you start first. You look more impassioned.
Well, there's 2 things I want to take from Will Levis today.
We're going to do positive next, so do your negatives. We're in the dump.
The interception is the second worst part. And people's going to ask me why. I'm going to tell you why I have that number 2. It was a bonehead play. We all know he should have just took the sack. We saw why did I do that? And the worst part, I think, about today's game, besides the interception about Will Levis, I'm getting really tired of him running the football and not sliding. He already injured his ribs. He had he had a heating pad on his ribs. Then he injured his ankle. They're not serious injuries, but that's already week 1. You're already getting banged up, dude. I don't care if you're 6'4", 230. I don't care if you think you have biceps and muscles. You're going against professional defenders who are bigger than you and running just as fast. You have to slide. Cam Newton was a big dude. Tebow was a big dude. You're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
You have to slide. Stop with the Macho Man Randy Savage and just slide.
Yeah.
Your availability is more important than 1 first down on a dive because you think you can run up with Tremaine Edmonds is ridiculous. That it was right in his ribs. I'm like, dude, what are you? This is not the first time. Yes. That's why I take away. That's why I find out more heartbreaking than the interception. Yes, the interception was terrible. He's got to start sliding. And if I'm counting him, I'm like, dude, you got to start sliding.
You could tell he was getting frustrated, as he was going on. He thought he had to play hero ball, and that's never a good sign. Now, it's easy to point at that and say you can't do it, but there are plenty of times guys play hero ball and succeed. So take that for what it is. It didn't succeed.
He's 3-7 as a starter so far. Obviously, the coaching.
He doesn't have a full year yet.
Philosophy. It's going to take a while. Bears have a great defense, so J.C. Latham was bad. Dylan Radins looked really good till he got injured, and then that just kind of unraveled.
Cushenberry was as advertised. He kept him upright.
Peter
didn't get any pressure up the middle.
Yeah, Skoronsky got blown by a couple of times. And Tony Pollard looked good, but this is my concern coming into week 1. Sure. Is it going to be the running back saving Will Levis again? Or is it going to be Will Levis showing that he can do this without a run game? Because in the second half, the run game wasn't even there. Tony Pollard wasn't doing good. There was a throw from Will Levis. He missed Calvin Ridley wide open, as you pointed before we went live. Mm-hmm. The third
you got to go up and get that ball. That's what I'm saying. You got to go get it.
The 3rd and 3 pass to Tajay Spears, I felt like he should have let him more to get away from Tremaine Edmonds instead of throwing it to his chest and allowing Tremaine Edmonds to make that tackle.
For sure.
And Spears, I thought Spears was going to break it a little bit, but Tremaine Edmonds is a good tackler in open space.
I kind of felt that play, all day they were saying we can't let Spears go. And they were on him anytime he caught the ball. So I think they knew that Will Levis's dump off safety blankie, we got to take that away. What's up, Brian? How you doing?
I will say Brian shout out to go ahead.
Oh, okay. Brian is a Packers fan up in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Ryan Tannehill. There is rumors that he might go to the Packers.
Go get Tannehill up there.
Good luck with that.
We've seen the Malik Willis, and we're not. We've seen the Malik Willis, and unlike other Raw Titans podcasts, we're not gonna tell you that he's great and he's just amazing. And
I'm gonna say
should never have let him go. And all that
shout out to Stevenson and Jalen Johnson. They played. They played great. I mean, Jalen Johnson was locking everybody down, and he had Calvin Ridley too on another deep post play, but his shoulder got hit from behind and. It could have been intercepted. Luckily, it wasn't. So, J.C. Latham, good run blocker. We know his footwork and his offensive ability is not as a pass
I kind of feel
blocker.
that's going to come along, though.
Oh, yeah.
This is
hopefully.
You can't tell me you watched the game today and thought that offensive line was as bad as last year. They weren't.
No.
There were times where Latham did his job. There were absolutely very few times that Daly did his job. So
I told this I got 2 friends who are Bears fans. I got to see one tomorrow at work. The one thing that Caleb Williams did that was the only thing he did better than Will Levis was not turn the ball over. That's the only thing he did. There was a lot of he threw a pass so hard it went off Quandre Diggs' chest in the air and caught it, and then he fumbled and then they recovered. I'm like, what was that?
Right.
Week 1, but DJ Moore made some couple good catches on Snead, but Sweat, I give him. He's gonna be my first positive. He was blowing plays up, a lot. White and Simmons. And Simmons, I know he's running his mouth at the end of the game, and I know he's really frustrated because his offense didn't back up the defense. So
Did him no favors. Did
yeah,
them no favors.
Simmons, I'm sorry, dog, but you just lost to a guy with pain and nails. So
Yeah, well,
not your fault, but unfortunately,
right.
The offense couldn't cash a check. So
here's my negative. I have a couple. One, that ball got hit up in the air, and you're not even going to jump to go get it. You're just going to stare at it like a kick return.
Yeah.
You know who? I think it was 52, whoever it was. I don't know if it was Landry or whatever, but you just can't stand under it while that ball's knocked up in the air. Caleb threw a bad pass, and the guy accidentally bopped it up in the air. And you gotta jump up there and get it. I just freaking hate it. I don't care if you're a linebacker. I don't care if you're a defensive lineman. You gotta get the ball there. You have to. So that's one. Two, I mean, same as you. Hey, Levis, you gotta. I know you felt like you had to play hero ball there because nothing was working, and I do mean absolutely nothing. Callahan knew it. Everyone knew it that it wasn't working. You couldn't get anything. What Callahan explained it first. Brian, I'll tell you this.
I'll take it. I'll answer that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I honestly don't think it was the play calling. It was to me
execution.
If you go back, well, I think it was execution because at the times, if you dive down in the film, I feel like there was times Will Levis was holding on to the ball too long. Obviously, the block punt touchdown, like I said, that gave the Bears the momentum back to get back into the game.
Yeah,
we didn't run the ball as much. I think that was a mistake. I will chalk that up to bad play calling. But I think Tennessee wants to get away from running the football. That's why Derrick Henry didn't come back. I'm not saying
right.
You know, I feel like they want Levis to show, hey, if the run game can't do it, can you do it? But if you want to play hero ball, there's a way to do it. The reason why Tom Brady became so good was he knew how to hit checkdowns. He knew how to read defenses. Will Levis getting fired up, yelling at the sideline, and then you come out and you making these bad decisions. I've told Titans fans in every podcast I've seen comments, we lost because of Will Levis. I hate to put it on him. Yeah,
what a difference!
I mean, I would hate to say, "Hey, Will Levis, you lost us the game," but he did because that pick six is what gave them the lead, and then he came back and threw another interception because Jalen Johnson is what he is. He's a great corner, and he didn't let. And I know Hopkins injured. He only had one catch, I think, today.
Yeah,
Burks had one catch for 2 yards, and
he dropped one too. He dropped one.
Calvin Ridley had only 50 yards receiving, which was
this offense is going to have to get on the same page. That was one of my negatives. I was going to say they have to get on the same page. I agree. Can't tell who's uglier, Will Levis game or Sam. Well, I'm going to say it's Will Levis.
That's
game.
Mean.
Not as ugly as the knee injury to your quarterback. Anyway, so you go on to that horrible second half faux pas. Isn't football amazing that all it took was one bad block on a punt return to really ruin it, wreck everything? And the snowball
conversions.
Oh, it ruined everything, and they couldn't get anything done. And then the sloppiness really started to show itself. Right, false starts, miscommunications.
I'm going to say the P word. I'm going to say the P word. Pressure. I think it was the pressure.
Where, Nick? Thank you. Anyway.
Well, Caleb Williams, I'm going to say this. He's a rookie going against a great defense. We only rushed 4 defenders, and we were getting some great pressure on him. But also the Bears, tell me this. We all know this. Bears haven't had a great quarterback since Jim McMahon and Jay Cutler. So, and they don't have a good offensive coordinator. They didn't set up Caleb Williams in a good spot. They couldn't get DeAndre Swift going against our amazing front four that played.
And when he got in a good spot, he couldn't make anything happen. Nothing was happening. He would miss wide open guys.
He's not used to that pace yet. And
Denard Wilson. it was clear to me that Denard Wilson told them, like, hey, we're not going to be covering these guys all game. I'm going to blitz him. I'm going to blitz him all the time.
Next
but
week,
we'll
get a different story.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So I think just the overall negative to me is the offense. They just weren't ready for anything. They've never had a good quarterback. Well, I mean, you would say that because you're a Packers fan, but as far as I could tell, yeah, I think you're right. They're just in a rough spot right now. We have to
Bears
figure out
and
what
Browns.
Yeah, Deshaun
Browns.
Watson
I mean,
today.
Baker Mayfield did go off today, so shout out to Baker Mayfield for.
I hate that man, but I understand. I hate him, but by God, I will not deny his talent. Okay, so the negatives are, I think, in the top three, right? Levis,
O-line, Will Levis,
O-line,
special
Levis,
teams.
Special teams.
Yeah.
Just bad. Horrible. Now, I think the good news is, well, let me put up my positive graph. I worked hard on that. We're going to use it, okay? I worked hard on it. A positive from that is I think you can fix the special teams flabs. It's just the whole thing's new.
At least Stonehouse didn't get injured again. That's the good news.
Right. The positives, and I'll go ahead and give this one, even though it's a little weak. Ridley did what he could, but there were times where he was hanging his head, shaking it because he knew he ran the wrong route or he ran over the guy or not where Will Levis needed him to be and stuff like that. But I felt like he was clutch a couple of times there to kind of take care of business. I enjoyed that. Another positive for me was Tony Pollard. Who knew? I thought he was going to be kind of sluggish. He was rushing in there, making guys miss, all kinds of stuff. Chigakonkwo gets a false start on the drive and then scores the touchdown on a beautiful floater that could have easily been picked off, but he didn't turn around. Let's see. Skronsky. No. I'll give this one to Raditz. Dylan's Raditz did his job today at right guard. Hopefully he is
okay. Offensive lineman.
Yeah, according to the pressures, he's
one
of them. But the best positive out of the day, and we could say the whole defense, and that's all good, but the interior defensive line with Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons is exactly what we wanted it to be. They were in his face constantly. There were 3 offensive linemen on Big Jeff at one point. It got so bad. So
Center for Chicago Bears did a bad job there.
I absolutely love that. That's a positive from this. So I think another positive we can take is as bad as you were the second half, you did show the first half what you could do in staying balanced, making nice, concise throws. You didn't have to.
This is Callahan's first year as a full offensive play caller, so this is not going to be.
It was a lot of timing. You know what I mean? Yeah. If they can get on the same page, they're going to get a lot better. And I think they will. That's not just me being the hopeful fan. I think they're eventually going to get on the same page. Will it be when we want? Boy, I hope so. If it's not, we're going to be stuck here for 6 or so weeks waiting for them to finally click. But boy, if him and Ridley get on that same page, and they're both hardworking guys, I think they will, you can make this work totally. So that's my positive. You got it?
My positive is just the defense. I know I don't want to blow them too much smoke and say they're a top 10 defense because it's the Bears offense. So looking at the schedule, Jets next week, that's a good offense. Veteran Aaron Rodgers, they got a great defense. So that's going to be another tough matchup. Packers, depending on Jordan Love, if he gets back in time, that's another tough matchup. Dolphins, Colts, Bills, Lions. I mean, that's oh boy. It's a tough schedule. I'm just gonna focus on the Jets. That's gonna be Sauce Gardner. I mean, they got a good defense over there too. And then you got a veteran like Aaron Rodgers. Thank God he's not mobile, but we'll see. the defense played great. Snead gave up a couple of catches, but nothing too big.
Right.
Roger McCreary was good. Quandre Diggs missed an interception that hit him right in the chest.
No.
Linebacking core played pretty decent. I didn't think they played bad. The defensive front four.
They stopped the runs. They stopped the runs.
Yeah. Yes. I think Sweat was amazing. He played. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons is big. I think Sweat might be bigger.
Sweat's definitely bigger. I think Sweat's like 360. Jeff is 310.
Yeah, two massive defensive tackles right there.
Right.
I just like I know Jeffrey Simmons likes to yap his gums and talk the smack, and that's a good thing, but just next time be careful.
He's a talker.
He's a talker. He backs it up, but then I know there's a moment on the sideline they're showing Will Levis warming up, and Jeffrey Simmons like walked right by him, and I can only imagine what Jeffrey Simmons is thinking at the time. Because I hate to say it. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it. Will Levis looked like Tannehill 2.0 today, which is brutal.
The second half, yes.
Yeah, you just. Oh boy, the pass to Calvin Ridley, that should have been in front of him, not towards the sideline. So that's just week one rust.
That's miscommunication. Yeah. That's
and then,
not the page. Yeah.
But that interception, I mean, just that's something you see from a rookie. And technically, he's only played 10 games so far in his career. But I mean, that was the crazy part of the game. Just, I mean, oh my God, that's the frustrating part. Like when we see the Titans wire or the other Titans fans post stuff like, "Hey, it's only game one." It's like we're not upset about it being week one. We're upset that the way we lost.
Yeah,
17-point lead, and you can't come out in the second half and score a single point, not even a field goal.
All you had to do was not make the mistake. That's all you had to do.
And that's why I gave Will Levis an F for today and put it on his shoulders. It was just his decisions. Yep. You're getting sacked. Just accept it. Don't try to Patrick Mahomes it. Just take the sack.
Right.
Because our defense, the way the defense was playing, the Bears were not going to score a touchdown on us.
Right.
So that's just something that Will Levis has to do. And oh boy, it's just not a good start for Will Levis right now. Mm-hmm. And I feel bad for him because I want him to be good. I want him to succeed just like Ryan Tannehill. But
Ryan Tannehill could get a revenge game in week 4 or week 3, I should say.
If Tannehill does go to the Packers and he starts week 3, we lose to Tannehill, I would be so mad at the Titans because there's no way that should happen because he's old, no. He can't move no more. Right. But I just want to see Will Levis start sliding. I can't because it's week 1. Ribs and ankle is already bothered, and it's only week 1. We still got 16 games to go, and our bye week's not for a while.
Right.
So he needs to start sliding. I mean,
I agree.
That's what blows my mind more than anything. It's like, dude, I know you're a big physical guy, but this is the NFL, dude. These guys are big too.
Taylor Lewan called him a unit. He is a unit.
He is, but it's just crazy.
Next up, first home game of the season. I will be there. Jets at Titans. I do not feel good about this game at all. And not just from today. I don't feel good about going against Aaron Rodgers. I don't feel good about that Chiefs offense defense. We're going to see them Monday night. Lord knows we're going to be looking how efficient they are if Aaron Rodgers stays on for more than one series or two plays into the series, however he left. I don't feel good about it, but this team's going to this defense is going to be tested. Caleb Williams can't hit open people, but a future Hall of Fame quarterback certainly can. So I hope you're ready. I don't think they're going to be as blitz heavy, of course. Yeah, but
I would not blitz Aaron Rodgers. I would not blitz Aaron Rodgers. I would say no to that.
You need to get you've got to snag him if he throws him up. You have to try to snag him. That's the only way that you're going to get anything going. You got to watch out for Breece Hall. You got to watch out for that defense, whatever. We are going to go. We're going to get
defense.
tested. This defense is going to get tested, and I hope they're ready for it.
I'm more worried about the Jets defense. So I'm going to take a look at the Jets defense because I know a few names like Quinn Williams and obviously Sauce Gardner. He's a good corner. So just taking a look at their defense. I think they run a 4-3. Yep, they run a 4-3. Jermaine Johnson and Javon Kinlaw, he's decent. Quinn Williams, Michael Clemens, Sherwood, CJ Mosley, good linebacker. Quincy Williams, Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed. So, oh God, that's a good defense. So, yeah,
I don't feel good about the game.
I didn't want to see DeAndre Hopkins play today, not because I didn't want him to rush back from his injury because of his age and
I don't know if you heard at the press conference, they're going to add more to his plate as the weeks go on. So they're just going to keep going. It's all about management, right? If you're not going to get surgery on the MCL, it's just going to be how you manage it and whatnot. But the one thing I just want what's the big one you want fixed, right? Offensive line. What would you rather have fixed? Offensive line or the Ridley and Levis connection?
I would say just Levis's decision making. I mean, I don't care what receiver steps up. Burks, Boyd, Hopkins, Chig, Riley, Ridley. I don't care what receiver it is. But I mean, it was just the second half was just so tough to watch because I mean Treylon Burks 1 catch for 2 yards. It's like, I remember. I think.
By the way, why are we handing off to get Burks? Why are we doing that? It makes no sense to me,
dude. So I watched the Eagles. I watched the Ravens game and I watched the Eagles game. I don't like Titans fans saying Will Levis is better than Lamar. Don't do
that.
Stop with that. That
every quarterback's got different attributes, right?
Yes, Lamar Jackson missed wide open Zay Flowers, but he threw a dart to Isaiah Likely. He just couldn't get his feet in bounds.
1 week. It is one game. It is one game out of the 17 games that happened. Let's see it again. All right. Like I told everybody, I'm waiting till week 3 before I start to worry much about anything. After the week 3, you have a really good grasp on what this team's problem is and whatever else.
Yeah.
So
now, the takeaways from the Ravens game: Derrick Henry only had 14 carries.
Pedestrian.
Baltimore doesn't know how to use him yet. 1 game, and obviously the thorn in the side. AJ Brown had a great game in week 1 again.
Yep.
But I watched Saquon Barkley. Dude looked amazing in Philly.
The Browns. I mean the Giants.
Oh yeah.
Giants.
Daniel Jones, man. I mean, so my concern is once again the run game. If Tony Pollard bails out Will Levis, that would be a good thing. But it's also a bad thing. We want to see what this passing game can do without a strong run game. Because Trevor Lawrence, I was surprised how well he did today without Calvin Ridley. They didn't win, but he did better than I thought he was going to be. Anthony Richardson had a beautiful 60-yard pass. Didn't have a great game.
No.
CJ Stroud and Texans look good. Joe Mixon went off today. I was like, what the heck? Where was this at from Cincinnati?
I don't think they didn't run Mixon a whole lot in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
too much.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like we talked about it going into the preseason, off season. No more Derrick Henry. How's this going to look? Tony Pollard looked good. Maybe Callahan put too much on Will Levis and he couldn't deliver. Maybe the injury to his ribs caused Will Levis not to throw the ball as good. But that's why you have to slide, Will Levis. You can't afford your body to get dinged up because if you mess up your arm, your elbow, your shoulder, last thing we need you get is a Marcus Mariota elbow stinger that just carries on for 1.5 seasons where you can't feel your arm. It's numb. You can't have that.
No.
So hopefully Callahan gets on him and says, dude, listen, I know you're a fiery competitor, but you got to slide.
Yeah.
Point blank.
Well, Stafford just threw an interception in the Lions game. In the end
we got to
zone.
face the Lions. Oh, God. Another.
I know. It's a long road ahead. And Brad and I will be here all year catching you up on it. I think every time we lose, I'm going to have Moonlight Sonata playing in the background, and we're going to be in black and white the whole time. Just like anyway, thank you for joining us tonight. Look forward to next week. Look forward to being in Nissan Stadium again. I'm about to jump on the wrestling show. Brad's going to go to bed or stare up at the ceiling angry, thinking about throwing darts at Will Levis's face. And we will catch you next Sunday evening to recap Titans and Jets. Should be a good one. Have a great evening, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.